Welcome to Shorty Supercoach. How you guys going out there? Going to take a look at the old tips today. I actually haven't checked these since. I know I didn't have the greatest of weeks, but yeah, let's see how we sort of shape up here. So there are a couple upsets. I ended up changing my tip to the Giants from the Tigers, and the Giants let me down severely, so that was brutal. I feel like it was a much tougher week for tipping this time around. Why are you not loading? There we go. Yeah, nice. Play now even. This is going well. Cool. Yeah, so just 5 tips out of the 9. How did we shape up in terms of Shorty Supercoach League? I think I was 22nd last time. I'm 26th now. So congratulations to those who are still up the top. We've got an outright leader. Strangers. Boom. Nice. Liam's up there. Chappie. What's going on? Tom Blackbeard. Yeah, nice. So a few doing pretty handy. Early days. So need to bounce back with some better tipping this time around. My margin got out a little bit because I got the wrong tip with Carlton knocking off the Dogs, and here we are once again. The Doggies are leading the round off, kicking it off. So, by the way, I'm probably live right now. I'm probably putting this video out as I'm actually going live. How inception is that? But so if you happen to come across this tipping video and it's just been released, feel free to come across and join the live session. Now, I had some good feedback the other day to sort of spend just a smidgen extra on some of the tips that are a bit more difficult. I think a lot of the time, most often we tip 6 or 7 the same, but there's always a couple different that's what makes or breaks it in footy tipping. Now, I'm going to go the Swans. And I do feel like this one is a tough one to pick. Let's chuck a margin out there. That's 17 points will do me. I was expecting the Dogs to bounce back last week. It didn't happen, and they just don't look as damaging. I wouldn't be shocked if they do respond and find a win. They'll be in all sorts. If they don't, they'll be 0-3. But I just wondered, without Josh Bruce, they ended the year relatively poor. And then found a way with momentum to get to the grand final. But I don't know. This year, it doesn't seem to look the same. I don't know. They've sort of lost their mojo, it feels. Can they find it? I'm not too sure. And on the other hand, I saw a really impressive Sydney, upward trending everywhere. Really good youngsters. I couldn't help but think you've got to go with them. And if you get this one wrong, then gee, fair enough. But I'd hate to be bitten by the Dogs on the arse twice, sort of waiting for something that might not be coming. I was prepared to give them a chance to respond last week. Didn't happen, so I'm backing in the Swans. D's pretty straightforward. I think, even though Port were pretty dreadful last week, I still think it's a very young Crows team, and Port are better than that. And they might not be that top 4 team they had hoped for, but they'll be better than what they produced last week. Going to go the Giants as well. I think Gold Coast are, they're a real, solid performing side at the moment. You sort of feel like you can trust them a bit more. And the Giants let me down awfully last week. But there is so much talent in that GWS team. And I'm just going to have to back them in, even though it is still frustrating me. They let me down last week with a shocker performance. But you got to give credit to the Tigers. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised this is 35-65. All biases aside, I honestly think Geelong are pretty strong favourites. I know we got done by the Swans, but I still think while Collingwood are playing really impressive footy, they are very young and there'll be ebbs and flows. So I just wonder whether they are continuing this momentum, and if they are, their pace of the young side, that'll probably worry us. But I'm going to back in the Cats. Going to back us in to respond. Brisbane, about as straightforward of a tip as you'll find, and confidently going the Blues. I think the Hawks are overperforming a touch, and I do feel like the Blues are the real deal at the moment. I am going to back the Tigers in. Should never tip against the Tigs at the MCG. Buyer beware. Gosh, what did I do last week? It always kills you when you swap your tip, doesn't it? It's great when it pays off, but even when once Rewalt was out, Grimes was out, Martin didn't end up playing, I was really confident with the Giants. Thought they'd smash them in the midfield. Didn't happen. They lost the clearances. I'm really confident on Fremantle here. Even if it was and it's hard to know what sort of a full setup or lack of a full setup, and who knows who's going to play for the Eagles. It's been bizarre at times with how many outs they've had due to COVID, but even if all things were level and equal, I would still go the Dockers. They've started the season poor, scraped over the line against the Crows. Really poor performance in the second half in particular last week against the Saints, but I still am pretty optimistic on them. So, yeah, I think the main tips this week that are your 50-50s are the Dogs and the Swans. I think probably that would be the main one. It seems like, your derby, and your showdown are always ones that can go either way. So I'll be really interested to see. But just want to get myself off to a nice, good start with the Swannies getting the job done. And then we'll see how we go. But all the best. Feel free to post your tips down below if you'd like. Like I said, probably going live, taking your Supercoach questions at the moment. But I'll be back with a bit of a weekend preview. I'll smash that one out after I finish work on Thursday. Still don't know who I'm trading. I am falling short with coin here and there. Not sure what to do with the ruck department. So Shorty's going to have a sleep on it and see how we go. But all the best for your tipping, your Supercoach, and I hope your team gets up on the weekend. We'll talk soon.